Welcome everybody to today's webinar. We're going to demonstrate and review the differences between Dragon Medical 1, the new cloud version of Dragon Medical, and the newly enhanced Practice Edition version 4. Both are great products. You are going to learn something interesting about these products regardless of whether you've been using Dragon for a long time or whether you're new to the product. This is, in my experience as CEO of PBSI, having been in the technology business for 30 years, my single favorite tech product. Hardware, software, regardless, Dragon Medical is an efficiency tool that always produces efficiency results if somebody's trained well, and we can help you with that. So our agenda is really simple. We're going to demonstrate Dragon Medical 4, the boxed edition, and go through some features that are really important for clinical use. Then we're going to move to Dragon Medical 1. You'll see these products behave very, very similarly. And we're going to talk about why you might choose one versus the other. So welcome. Thank you for joining. Some of you are familiar with PBSI over many years. The relationship between Nuance, who is the manufacturer and licensor of Dragon Medical, they're a publicly traded company, they own Dictation, they're by far the world leader and absolutely the healthcare leader in voice recognition. Their products we've seen them enhanced and enhanced and enhanced over so many years that what once was a slow, interesting product that helped many providers has turned into an absolute, brilliantly quick and accurate product for clinical dictation. PBSI's role, providing technology services in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana with a significant expertise in Dragon Medical, our role is to help providers use Dragon in whatever context. So whether it's with Epic or NextGen or Allscripts or whatever EHR you use, or even if you're not using an EHR, we can help actually use the features, make sure that clients take advantage. You're going to spend some money on Dragon, make sure you use it well. That's our role. We train, we support, and we have hundreds of physician clients using and other clinician clients using Dragon Medical. So quickly, we're going to start demonstrating. On your screen, you see a picture on the right-hand side of my screen. And if you haven't maximized my screen, you might want to do that because some of the things you'll see are pretty small. This is a picture of a Powermic. So the Powermic 3 is the current model. It's what's going out in the field today. Some of you, if you've used Dragon Medical in the past, use this Powermic 2. No need to upgrade. Both microphones are excellent, and they provide the same functionality. The newer one is simply a little smaller and lighter. So the benefits of a Powermic, 90-something% of all providers who use Dragon Medical use this Powermic. Why? Because it's really an efficiency tool. When I first started with Dragon many years ago, I did not know why a handheld mic would be so much better than a headset mic or a Bluetooth mic. But the fact that there's a button I can use in my left hand to turn Dragon on and off so it listens or not, while I use my right hand free to do other things. There are not many buttons we use on the microphone, but it simply leads to a really efficient dictation process. So now we are also, with Dragon Medical 1, able to use an iPhone or an Android as a microphone, and you'll see where the functionality of a Powermic is basically reproduced on a wireless phone. So preeminently, those are the products you're going to use. So I'm going to be using this Powermic as I'm demonstrating, and I'm going to move now to a description of features. And I'm going to be going back and forth between this description of features and my demonstration location. I'm going to be demonstrating producing text into Microsoft Word. You likely won't do that. You'll be using your EHR, and where there's a field in your EHR where you'd be tempted to type, or whether you might have transcription filled in, that's where Dragon will produce its text. So these features are really, really important. And if providers out there are using Dragon simply to turn voice into text and aren't aware of templates or some of these commands, they're missing huge productivity improvements. So I'm going to use these features while demonstrating. The first is I want to talk about templates and the select command. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Word, and the cursor on my screen is where Dragon is going to produce text. Dragon is a product that works inside of any Windows program. So whether you're in Outlook or in Word or in an EHR, when I turn Dragon on to start listening, it produces text where my cursor is. So on my screen, very little red picture of a microphone in the lower right-hand corner, that is Dragon Medical not listening to me. When I press the on button on my Powermic, that little microphone button will turn green, and here's what Dragon does. Patient is a 27-year-old male presenting today with lower back pain, period. New paragraph. Patient's BP is 210/180, and I'm really concerned about medication dosage, comma, especially highs are oral in combination with Lipitor, period. New paragraph. So you saw Dragon pause for a bit. I had to wake it up, but Dragon will pause a bit before it starts producing text, but it remembers everything I'm saying. What it's doing when it first wakes up is it's trying to discern what is being spoken. Is this a set of text, which in case this was, and you see how all spellings and medication dosages and all kinds of clinical terminology, in fact, I'll say all clinical terminology, I have yet to find a condition name, a diagnosis name, a body part that in context Dragon doesn't get the punctuation correct, the spelling correct, and so forth. So you've seen me produce some text. The alternate thing I might have been doing is I might have been using a command like the select command or go to or bold that. So it has to pause for a short moment while it decides, is this a command I'm listening to or is it text? So I'm going to do some more things now. I'm going to use a template, normal ROS. Select eyes denied. Eyes colon, red and bloodshot, period. We need to schedule a drug test for this patient. Select line. Bold that. Caps that. Go to bottom. New paragraph. Okay, so what did I just do? I said the name normal ROS. So that in my voice profile is the name of this set of text. So in your specialty and with your patients, you're going to decide what are the names of your templates or shortcuts or auto texts, they're called, same thing. And that's what will be produced when you use those words. If I used those same words in a sentence, here's what it does. Patient was here and experienced by normal ROS, period. New paragraph. Undo that. Undo that. Undo that. Patient experienced by normal ROS, period. New paragraph. Okay, so I just wanted you to know that normal ROS are just words when they're spoken in a sentence, but when I said normal ROS with a pause, it knew that to be a template. So the couple things we've done so far, and I'm going to move quickly because there are a lot of things to cover, and I want to do it efficiently. You've seen me use a template. You've seen me use the select command. So this is really important. If there's one training tip, if you will, that will come out of today that I'd really have you remember, it's this. The select command. If you ever hear anybody talk about Dragon in other than glowing terms, I want to talk to that person because it's a training issue or it's something else unrelated to the product. I'm not, with all the experience we have, I'm not confident in the quality of this product. But somebody you might hear, you'll hear this more frequently with very older versions of Dragon, is that it's hard to edit text. It's not hard to edit text at all. However, if I don't know how to use the select command, I don't know how to edit my text. You want to edit text with your voice. So you want to say select and then the text you want to choose. So two things, you want to select at least 2 or 3 words. So I wouldn't select the word denied if I wanted to change something. I would select urinary system denied or negative for high. I wouldn't just select one word. The more words, you give it 2 or 3 words, and Dragon is going to find those words, and you'll have fewer chance for duplication. Like if I said select denied, it would find a whole bunch of examples of the word denied. Secondly, decide what you're going to select before you say it. So if you made this mistake, you'd say select, and then you look around on your screen for what was it that I wanted to fix, and you'd find it, and then by the time you say that word, it's decided, well, select was a word, not a command. So if you do it wrong, it would be like this. Select, neurologic. Okay, so I waited long enough after that select command that it decided that my text, what I was selecting was text. But if I do it like this, select neurological denied, neurological colon normal, go to bottom. Just learn to select at least a couple of words and choose the timing. Be careful of the timing, and you will find this select command to be a fantastic text editor. Okay, so other things we can do, and by the way, we are not, for most of you, we are not trying to replace your clicks in your EHR. We're not trying to replace your templates either, the things where you click a couple things and you get a paragraph. Those work fine. You don't need help with those. What we're trying to do is automate where you want to type, where you think, my note is not very personal, it's not customized. Anybody, this could have been an exam for anybody. when you want to type, use your voice instead. So that would be the HPI, it would be the assessment, the plan, possibly some other areas where you just, this patient's condition doesn't fit the exact normal defaults that are available. So we can, though, set up templates with fields that can mimic the functionality of an EHR, and there are cases where this might be appropriate, where you have an assessment where 75% of the text is common and you want it to stop at a few places. So I'm going to do an example of that. I'll clear out the text that's been on my screen, so I'll start afresh. And I'm going to do an example of template with fill in the blanks. My referral letter. Okay, I'm stopping here to identify that these brackets on the screen that you see me, I was using a button on my microphone to go from field to field. A left and a right bracket constitute a field where Dragon's going to stop. So when I said my referral letter, it could produce an entire letterhead. It could be your logo, your name and address, everything, and it stops only to fill in things. So now I'm going to turn my microphone on, and I'll be using a button on my microphone to move from field to field. So it works like this with lower back pain. Patient describes their condition in words that I can't understand. Examination of the patient revealed tenderness in the lower abdomen. This patient may have mental issues, period, I can't discern that. Zoloft, 20 milligrams BID. Okay, so what I'm saying clinically is ridiculous, and I hope you, I realize that. And by the way, I'm not an MD, I am Ray Cool, but this is simply to indicate that you can have a John Hancock, you can have a logo, there can be graphics included with this, so that for most of you, you won't be doing an entire letter like this. You certainly can, but you'll be doing sections that will be built into your EHR progress note. So that's an example of a template with fill in the blank. So if you're doing injections and you want to stop and identify how many locations or places where you just want to customize your template a bit, Dragon's great for that. Okay, a couple other things that are really important. Make that a shortcut and open command browser. So the problem here is we've created a bunch of really useful templates. Every time I speak some text and I realize, I've said that 15 times already in the last 2 weeks. If I just save that, take 10 seconds now to save that with a template name, I can reuse that text simply by remembering the name of the template. But here's the problem, I don't remember the name of the template. So that's where what can I say comes into play. So I'm going to use that now. What can I say? Okay, so here are some navigation and formatting commands. You can learn those, but more important than that is this command. Open command browser. Okay, so the command browser knows the list in alphabetic order of all of my template names. So a lot of my names start with the word normal or my. There is no rhyme or reason that you need to use those words in a template name. It's simply the way I've named templates. So if I realize normal GI or normal crutches or whatever, that's the one I wanted, normal GI. I'm going to use another feature here where you see the brackets in this case that have defaults in them. So now I'm going to use my microphone button to go to fields and stop only when I want it to stop. So I'll say something here. Heartbeat was really irregular and we need to schedule a cardiology consult, period. Abnormal results, period. Accept defaults. When I said accept defaults, Dragon just took the brackets away. So the brackets were there to show me what are the fields that I've set as default fields. So you can set bracketed fields as blank or with defaults. So you might think there are a million commands, too many commands to learn how to use, but if you remember what can I say, all the commands you can say are right there on the screen. If you remember open command browser, you know the names of every template you've ever created. So now I'm going to create a brand new template. My thank you. Okay, so let's say I just spoke these words. And in addition to that, I want to say, if I can ever do anything for you or any of your patients, please let me know, period. Okay, so now I've made this set of text, and this is a bad example because there's not much text here. This isn't something I might really choose to save. But let's say I wanted to save this. I'd done 3 paragraphs worth of text, and I want to create a new template. Now I'm going to use this command called make that a shortcut. So I'm going to do that now. Make that a shortcut. Extended thank you. Click Save. Okay, so what I just did is I created a brand new template. So now in my list, extended thank you will show up here. There it is. And I could use that anytime I want to. But now that I've saved that, patient here and experienced an extended thank you, period. New paragraph, extended thank you. So you see the difference. It knows that it is now the name of a template. You just created it today and you used it today, and Dragon remembers it forevermore. So you remember these very few things. Make that a shortcut, open command browser, what can I say? You've really learned a lot. So a couple of things I'm going to do quickly. I'm going to do an internet search. So this is one of the features that's available only in the boxed edition of Dragon. So you may not use this frequently, but when you want to, it's really helpful. There's an internet search feature to get clinical information. The command format is search website name for condition name. I'll do that now. Search up to date for insomnia. Click clinical features and diagnosis of insomnia in adults. Okay, so what just happened? I used the click command to click on something. Dragon recognizes no matter what screen you're on. It could be in Epic, it could be in your EHR. If it sees something that looks like a link or a button, I could say click product, I could say click subscription options, I could click hospital and Dragon would do that. But the first thing I did is I said search up to date for insomnia, and Dragon fills in all the blanks to get me to that screen. So you're in the middle of an encounter, you're dealing with a patient and they have a question. You don't have to exit your EHR. You're right in the middle of a field in your EHR. You can simply say, I'll do this again. Search WebMD for encephalitis. What Dragon does is it hears that search command and it goes to find what is my default browser. So in my case, it's Chrome. In your case, it could be Internet Explorer or whatever other browser. Then it goes to find a website name that sounds like what I said, and then it does what it would appear to be a click of encephalitis. So very, very useful to be able to do searches. In fact, that feature works with any internet search you want to do. Search Yelp for restaurants near me. Actually works pretty well. So, last major feature, hidden mode or dictation box. Here's a case where we're accustomed to when we're using an EHR, we're going from field to field to field, and we're either clicking or speaking or typing in any given field. But sometimes I'd like to just look around in the chart, and as I look at different things, accumulate dictation. So there's a button on my microphone that I'm going to use now to open up this box. You see it's translucent. Dragon knows with that dictation box open, what I speak now, instead of being placed where my cursor is, it will be placed inside that box. Patient is going to be here today for an evaluation of their encephalitis, period, new paragraph. Now I'm going to go look someplace else in the chart, and I'm just going to go click over here, and I'm looking at their previous history. History in the last 3 visits show that lab results have been markedly concerning, period. We're going to evaluate these today, period. New paragraph. Then I'll go somewhere else and click somewhere else in the chart. Patient social history appears to be difficult, period. Remember to ask this patient about their mother-in-law, period. New paragraph. Transfer text. So what just happened is, instead of placing all that text where my cursor was, it held onto it until I was ready to put it down. So it's a really useful thing. The dumb little things like this, which aren't dumb little things at all, separate. Know these features, and the level of productivity improvement will go dramatically up. So one more thing I'm going to demonstrate. This really is my last demonstration. We're going to move on to Dragon Medical 1, and that is I'm going to show you how good Dragon has gotten at recognizing really, really poorly worded text. So I'm going to intentionally butcher some dictation here. Patient is here for an exam, and the patient seems pretty confused, and they stutter their words some, period. Select in the symptoms that and stutter there. So, and start here, there. Undo that. Select and start here, there. And stutter there. So here's an example. So I could fix this, but you know what's different? What I just did there, stutter their words isn't good clinical speech. If I had said something more logical, like, and stutters a lot. I really mean stutters a lot. You see, it is really excellent as long as I don't go off the wall saying things that just don't make sense, because there is such a treasure of logic and history built into the database that Dragon can searches. It's going to get the right context most of the time, and you see that it takes really poorly spoken text and does a marvelous job. It's not always perfect, but it's really, really good. Okay, Dragon Medical, fantastic product. We've been using the boxed edition. So now I'm going to move on. I'm going to exit Dragon Medical. As soon as I get my command browser closed. And I'm going to open Dragon Medical 1. So both of these software products have a piece that's installed on a PC. The difference is Dragon Medical 1, the cloud version, is looking only to the cloud to get my voice profile and the settings that I've stored about myself. So I'm logging in to my voice profile. So with Dragon Medical Boxed Edition, I can share the same voice profile among any number of PCs, so that I can be on my laptop, on my home PC, in any exam room, and all sharing the same profile. It requires setup to be done that way. Now, PBSI does that for every client. So you'll have a shared voice profile no matter which product you use, but with the cloud version, it's always storing that in the cloud, and so it's always there no matter where you are located, even if you haven't thought to set up that PC. So now you're going to see the same features exist. I'm going to, or most all the same features exist. I'm going to be using, though, my Powermic Mobile. So on my iPhone right now, I'm loading an app. I click the right button. I'm loading an app called Powermic Mobile, and it remembers my PC, and it's logging into my PC. And now it's going to soon be connected to my Dragon Medical 1. Did I load my Dragon Medical 1? Yes, I did. All right. Let me do this again. Dragon's fine. My behavior on my iPhone could use some improvement. Well, okay. Sorry about that. That's not going to prove very effective demonstrating because I've done something to my pairing, although I can tell you that this works beautifully time after time, but I'm going to use my Powermic instead with Dragon Medical 1. I'm not accustomed to doing this, but I believe I can change my microphone. Oh, I had it set to use a Powermic. That was what I did wrong. I had it set for Powermic, and instead I want to set it for Powermic Mobile. So we'll do this. It works fine with either microphone. But now that it's looking for a Powermic Mobile, now my iPhone has logged in, so it's successfully connected. So sorry about that. That's my bad as a demonstrator. So in front of me, as my microphone, I have this iPhone, and the on-off button is here, and the next field and previous field, and the transfer text button. So they're all sitting here. I'm just going to do it with my wireless iPhone instead. So you'll see same features. Patient is a 27-year-old female presenting today with pain in lower left ankle, period. New paragraph. New paragraph. Patient's BP is 160 over 120, and we need to schedule an additional test for this patient, period. New paragraph. Normal exam. Select regular rate and rhythm. Heartbeat produced unusual symptoms, period. We need to schedule an additional consult for this patient. Go to bottom. And so forth. So you see the functionality and the features of Dragon and the speed of Dragon is very, very difficult, if possible, to distinguish between the two versions. They both do the job perfectly well. So what we're going to find out is the essential difference are a few features in each direction, couple features in each direction, and the cost. Dragon, the boxed edition, is an upfront purchase cost and no monthly fee, where the opposite is true of Powermic Mobile. Of the cloud version, you pay a monthly fee instead of an upfront fee. So one feature that is different with Dragon Medical 1 is a new feature called Clinical Calculator. So interestingly, for those of you considering Dragon Medical 1, 2 months ago, this feature didn't exist. Any user of Dragon Medical 1 received this feature automatically when it was released. So I'm going to do something now. Open Clinical Calculators. What can I say? So you see on the screen that clinical calculators are enabled for me. And what I'm trying to remember now, see, I'm not as experienced with Dragon Medical 1. I want to open clinical calculators. Clinical calculators. There we go. Just had to say the right command instead of open clinical calculators. So notice in alphabetic order, some different calculators. Depending on your specialty, you will recognize the name of some of these. The idea is there is clinical functionality and calculation ability built in for all kinds of different specialties, and this list is growing on a regular basis. So if we wanted to use the PERC rule for pulmonary embolism, on my screen I can either make selections, and there can be defaults in these selections, and then I can, this was probably not a good example, I'll transfer this, we'll use this, but you can see that what happened is it transferred the entire information in clinical note norms so that I can change any of this. So I could say select hematosis no and change that to something else. So that's one example. Clinical calculators. Clinical calculators. And I'll pick this Apache 2 score. And so you can see there's a default here for yes. And then I'm clicking this. I'm saying the patient is 55 years old. Temperature is, my mistake, sorry. I could either speak these or I could 120. Sorry. Not demonstrating this very effectively, but you can see, I believe, that the idea is depending on the calculator, it prompts for the right set of things, and then it's not able to calculate this yet, but as soon as I give it enough information, it will give me a calculated score, and then I can transfer the entire information to my text. It also includes references for this particular thing, so if I wanted to find out this reference, it goes to the web and shows me the reference built in for this particular information and how this is used and what it means. And then when I say transfer, all my information comes in. So that's a Dragon Medical 1 only feature, and basically it's pre-built clinical information that is ready to help. So I didn't turn my microphone off there. Okay, Dragon Medical 1 has this feature. I'm going to now wrap up and identify why might you choose one versus the other. Most of it's related to cost. If you're looking for the best value economically, no question, it's Dragon Medical Boxed Edition. You're going to spend $1,499 after PBSI discounts the software for you. You're going to buy a Powermic. Of course, you don't have to. Recommended is 1 or 2 on-site training sessions, which would be $250 or $500 on average. Just depends on your location, where a trainer who knows Dragon comes to your office, stands behind you, instead of like today, you're listening to me, they're listening to you. You're holding the microphone, they're teaching you, and we do that then a couple weeks later. So you've spent some money getting trained, but well worth it. And you've spent $2,600. You divide that by 50 months, 60 months. If you're going to use this for 5 years, you will have spent $50 or $60 a month throughout that period. So you spend the money up front, but then you're not paying ongoing. With Dragon Medical 1, the monthly cost, depending on if you sign up for a 24-month or a 36-month subscription, is either $123 or $99 a month. If you're using Practice Edition, your first year is at $79 a month. And then Powermic Mobile is available for $20 a month. So you're going to spend somewhere between $100 and $150 a month for Dragon Medical. And in the long term, it becomes more expensive, but then you get automatic feature updates as you go. A couple of features that Dragon Medical Practice Edition have that Dragon Medical 1 don't are pretty important. The internet search command is only available in Practice Edition, and the click command is only available in Practice Edition, so you can navigate in your EHR. So this is not a clear, it varies practice by practice, but if I were going to make a general recommendation to the mass body of providers, Practice Edition, the Boxed Edition, is a fantastic product. It doesn't need any updates. It's already just excellent. That would be my choice because it's less expensive. However, for cash flow, or if you're wanting to make sure that you get the latest enhancements before the next upgrade comes out, Dragon Medical 1, both excellent, excellent products. So we are finished with today's content. I want to say thank you very much for your attendance. There's other things I could say, but promised we'd be finished on time. So we're complete. Thank you very much for your